10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Folks, this ain't normal.
What happened to the great American farm? What happened to the integrity of our food? What happened to having some respect for our planet and its animals? 4 words: faster, fatter, bigger, cheaper. We took the manufacturing innovation of our cars and applied it to our food supply. That just doesn't work. We don't have farms anymore. We have factories. Hello and welcome to the start of Nature's Network's pre-launch. My name is Ryan Murphy and I'll be your host tonight. I'm very excited that you guys are here because I believe that we are on the cusp of completely revolutionizing the entire food industry. But for me, this all started about 3 years ago. I was on Netflix and I was looking for some boring documentary to watch. I ended up flipping through one called Food Inc. And what I saw completely blew my mind about how disgusting the food that we're eating, how it's grown, how it's raised, and what's in it. I ended up watching the whole thing twice that night, and it's funny enough that the next day I was meeting with one of my good friends, Lars Jacobson. We were meeting about another project that we were doing at the time, and all of a sudden we got sidetracked and started talking about all this different farming videos that Lars has been watching and all this different research that he's done. Well, he gives me, videos and stats to go look up. That night, I ended up down the rabbit hole of YouTube and I ended up not sleeping. I was watching videos from guys like Joel Salatin, Justin Rhodes, Alan Savory, Jeff Lawton, and it blew my mind about what we're doing now and what the food industry and the food that we could be eating could be like. So what did I do? I started looking for sources to get this type of food. I figured that my local supermarket or Whole Foods would have this stuff for sale. You see, when you go to the grocery store and you see things like free-range chicken or grass-fed beef, labels don't mean anything anymore. Do you know what it means to have a free-range chicken? You would think it would be a chicken that would be able to go wherever it wanted and eat whatever it wanted. No. A free-range chicken is a chicken that's raised in a chicken house, and for 1 hour a day, the chicken doors open up so it can go outside, go get fresh air, and go on. It's not even grass that they're on, it's a dirt lot. Then you look at a term like grass-fed, and grass-fed really doesn't mean anything anymore. The USDA just recently came out and said that they can't enforce the label grass-fed because all cows at some point in their lives are raised on grass. But if you look at the previous requirement, the standard for being labeled grass-fed was that the cow lived on grass for 90 days of his life. And then the cow can be shipped to a feedlot and fed GMO corn and soybeans and all the stuff that it's not supposed to be eating. After finding out that labels really don't mean anything, I felt like there was nothing that I could do. A few weeks go by, and I finally find a farm that's about 2.5 hours away from my house where I lived in Southern California. And I go on their website, and everything looks great. Everything is grass-fed, chickens raised unpastured, non-GMO everything. That's exactly what I was looking for. I go to their shop and I almost have a heart attack when I see the price. They're selling chickens for $30 a piece. I'm going, $30? What are you, nuts? This made me think back to my childhood. You know, I come from a very blue-collar family. Me and my sister had everything that we needed, but there was no extra really special luxuries. So thinking back to that, I'm thinking to myself, how can normal people eat this way? How can normal people be able to have the healthiest food for them and be able to afford it at a reasonable price? And I get it for them with the amount of labor and the cost of the feed and all the extra costs that go into it. I get why they have to sell that chicken for $30. But just because it makes sense about why they have to do it doesn't mean it's sustainable. Well, I said that there had to be another way to bring costs down to a reasonable level to where all people can really afford. That problem stumped me for about a year. And then I finally had that light bulb aha moment to where it could work. I found that taking my 8 years of very successful marketing and applying it to this food industry, that we could do something very special and make this food more affordable for everyone. The goal for this whole company is 1, respect the animals. They're going to be making the ultimate sacrifice for us. The least that we can do is give them a good life. 2, respect and heal the planet. Did you know that if all cattle ranchers did things the way that we're advocating, the way that we're doing, we could sequester all the carbon that's been emitted since the industrial age in less than 10 years. 10 years. And 3, eat the healthiest you possibly can and do it for free. And it doesn't have to stop at eating for free. If you grasp this vision, you could turn this into a very significant income for yourself. You see, in America, obesity has a direct correlation with the person's income level. And that's exactly why Nature's Network was born, in order to change that. So let's jump right into this. I want to do this as quickly as possible, so get out a piece of paper and a pen because you're going to want to take some notes. We're going to cover 5 things tonight. 1, the company. 2, the products. 3, the need in the marketplace for those products. 4, the compensation, how you get paid. And most importantly, number 5, the timing. The company Nature's Network is in its pre-launch stage right now. We're launching today, right now. But our main launch is January 2020. So right now you have an opportunity to get in before it's really even opened up to everyone else. You see, the way that Nature's Network got its name is we observed the natural network of nature, of how the plants and animals work together. And then it takes a network of people like you and me to spread this message of healthier eating, regenerative agriculture, permaculture, if you would want to call it. So right now, since we are in our pre-launch stage, you have the opportunity to become a founding member, to become a part of something that's bigger than both me and you, to be a part of something that will completely change how food is produced. So now we're on to the products. We have the 3 main meat sources in the United States: beef, pork, and chicken. Okay? And this isn't your regular beef, pork, and chicken that you would get at the supermarket. Okay? This is pastured poultry, forest raised or pastured raised pigs, and grass-fed and finished, remember that, and finished beef. So right now, we're going to shoot to a little video clip of why pastured poultry or pastured chickens.
So pastured poultry is chickens were raised in as natural environment as you can. And for us, that means putting them out here, right here on the pasture with daily moves. So they have constant access to fresh pasture, bugs, grass, scratching in the dirt, doing things that make a chicken a chicken.
Pastured poultry is pretty much just raising chickens on grass. That's the simple version. There's a lot in that. It means daily rotations. It means managing the grass, managing the birds. We do it for a lot of reasons. It produces a better product. It's good for the land. You know, instead of the manure that the birds produce being a problem, it's an asset. It builds our fields, builds the soil, builds the local wildlife ecology, and it produces a better product. The birds get exercise, it directly affects the tone of the meat, and it also imparts flavor. The birds pick up a lot of bugs, grains, grass, legumes. There's a wide variety of things that they eat, and that also helps build the flavor.
The nutrient cycling and environmental footprint of pastured poultry is brilliant. Chickens consume vegetation and insects and deposit it directly back in the form of manure, helping build soils. Specialized mobile chicken pens protect them from predators and provide shade and shelter. The pens are moved daily, allowing birds fresh grass and bugs. They also have daily access to high-quality rations.
Typically in pastured poultry, our producers strive to have the best feed possible, which can be different than the traditional poultry industry where they're trying to be as cost-effective as possible. By running them out on pasture, we don't need antibiotics because we're constantly moving them onto the fresh ground. We don't need medications like coccidiostats, which aren't labeled, but most chickens in the United States have that consumers aren't aware of because our chickens are clean. So poultry originally were outdoors, but then as the industry grew, they went indoors specifically because of challenges faced by nature. You know, you had predation, you had weather, you had disease, but we're learning that it's actually chickens do better outside in terms of health, in terms of freshness of air, the sunshine, the disinfecting aspects of UV light and wind. Pastured poultry harnesses the good things about nature.
Now the question is how does it taste? Let's take a look.
And using pastured birds, like working with them, you can see the difference immediately, you know, from the skin. Firmer texture, you can stuff herbs and aromatics into the skin without the skin ripping. And when you crisp that up in a pan, it renders out and flavors the bird. It is just a night and day cooking experience. The flavor too is just, you know, kind of incredible. It's more meaty, it's more, you know, juicy. A roasted pastured bird is not compared to, you know, a commodity product. When I'm looking to cook high quality food, those are the characteristics I'm looking for.
I understand why farmers don't want to talk because the company can do what it wants to do as far as pay goes since they control everything. But it's just gotten to the point that it's not right what's going on, and I've just made up my mind. I'm going to say what I have to say. I understand why others don't want to do it. And I'm just to the point that it doesn't matter anymore. Something has to be said. It is nasty in here. There's dust flying everywhere. There's feces everywhere. This isn't farming. This is just mass production, like an assembly line in a factory. When they grow from a chick, and in 7 weeks you've got a 5.5 pound chicken, their bones and their internal organs can't keep up with the rapid growth. A lot of these chickens here, they can take a few steps and then they plop down. It's because they can't keep up with all the weight that they're carrying. That's normal. There's antibiotics that's put into the feed, and of course that passes through the chicken. The bacteria builds up a resistance, so antibiotics aren't working anymore. I have become allergic to all antibiotics and can't take them.
And before the question comes up, all the farms that we've contracted with have their meat USDA inspected before it ships out to you. Now let's take a look at grass-fed and finished beef from the person that made me wake up the most, Joel Salatin.
Everything is grass-based. You know, they don't eat corn or dead cows or chicken manure like, you know, they feed right here in the valley, or dead chickens. They actually eat grass, forage, you know, clover, grass, herbs. So they're herbivores. if they were eating corn, you're going to have to harvest that corn, transport that corn, and then you're going to have to haul all that manure somewhere out that comes out the back end. Here, it's there is the whole thing. I mean, the cow she's fertilizing, she's mowing. We don't have to spread any manure. We don't have to harvest it. She's harvesting it. I mean, it's all real time, real solar dollars.
As you can see, there's no need for this Monsanto grown GMO corn, soybeans that are produced in fields and fields and fields and fields. Cows aren't supposed to eat corn. They're supposed to eat grass. It's that simple. It's as simple as that. Cows eat grass.
The industrial food system is always looking for greater efficiency, but each new step in efficiency leads to problems. If you take feedlot cattle off of their corn diet, give them grass for 5 days, they will shed 80% of the E. coli in their gut. But of course, that's not what the industry does. The industry's approach is, when it has a systematic problem like that, is not to go back and see what's wrong with the system. It's to come up with some high-tech fixes that allow the system to survive.
And the last of the products that we have available right now is pasture-raised and forest-raised pork. You see, pigs aren't meant to be in a confinement house. Look at the difference. And the taste is completely different. You've never tasted pork like this before. All of you, I highly, highly, highly recommend the jalapeno cheddar bratwurst. It's to die for. And before we wrap this section up, I want to be perfectly clear. These are not just products. These are living, breathing things that should be respected. As Joel Salatin said, respect the pigness of the pig. And what does that mean? That means letting the pig do what it's supposed to do. Go root around, go eat grass, go and explore the forest. And for a chicken, that means being able to scratch around and go eat bugs and grubs. For a cow, that's to be nature's lawnmower. And there's something to be said that a happier animal will produce a better meat for you and your family. Now let's talk about the need in the marketplace. Let's talk about who's actually going to be purchasing this stuff. Who's actually going to use it? And my question to you is, do you know anyone that eats chicken? Of course you do. Everyone eats chicken. Okay, wait a second. You might say the vegans, they don't eat chicken, right? Or the vegetarians or the pescatarians. What's funny with this is that after doing tons and tons of research, that the people most open to this are the former vegans, the former vegetarians. They went vegan or vegetarian because they saw everything that you just saw of how bad the animals are treated and how, it's not good for you. It's the way that they're raised, the way that they're fed is just not good for you. So they went, you know what? We're going to leave that behind. But now that we're showing them a different way, they'd be a lot more open to it. But let's look at some of the numbers. There was 33.5 million search results for grass-fed beef on Google, which is a crazy amount. When you look at Instagram, there have been 274,000 posts just about grass-fed beef. On pastured poultry on Instagram, 40,000 posts just about pastured poultry. And this is something that nobody has heard about. But there's 40,000 posts because people are looking for it. There's accounts out there of companies that do things this way that have almost 30,000 followers on Instagram. So yes, is there a market? Absolutely. And when people see what you just saw with the videos, oh my gosh, you think they're going to be open to it? Of course they are. Why? Because nobody wants to eat that way. You see, people are waking up. They're so disgusted with the way the food industry is that they want nothing to do with it. They're looking for an alternative method. And you know what? I think that everybody would want to be able to eat the healthiest for free. So what does your market realistically look like? You can sell to anyone in the lower 48 states. Sorry Alaska and sorry Hawaii, that's just for logistical shipping reasons, but we're working on it right now. Right now, it's only in the United States. We might look to go international later on, but right now we're focusing on the mainland 48 states. You think that there's enough people there that want to eat for free? That's why I believe that this will be huge. We're going to change the way people look at food. We're going to change the way that people pay for food. And we're going to change the way that people eat to a more healthier, regenerative lifestyle. Now let's take a look at the compensation plan. Nature's Network has a very lucrative compensation plan. There's no sign-up fee, no monthly qualification, no inventory, no loading, no gimmicks. We call our distributors farmers because farmers take care and nurture their herds and crops, from seed to newborn, to fully mature plant or animal. To become one of our farmers, it's very simple. All you have to do is purchase one of our products. So yes, you could start your very own business for the cost of a pound of bacon. The requirements to remain a farmer is to purchase a minimum of one product every 6 months. The way the compensation plan works, there are 5 shares that go out to our farmers every time an order is placed. Each share is worth 4% of the total order, excluding tax and shipping, of course. Let's look at the example of Bob and Mary. Bob just placed his first Nature's Network order. Bob is excited and shows Mary why she needs to start eating in a more regenerative fashion. Mary goes on naturesnetwork.com and places her first order. Bob then receives what we call a 5-share sign-up bonus. Bob will receive 20% commission on Mary's order. Mary gets excited and signs up Steve. Mary receives her 5-share sign-up bonus. Bob doesn't receive a commission. When Mary and Steve are ready to place their next orders, Bob receives 1 4% share from Mary's order and 1 4% share from Steve's order. Mary also receives 1 4% share from Steve's order. This will continue 5 generations down. So to recap, when a farmer makes a sale, the direct farmer receives the entire 5 shares allocated to that order as a sign-up bonus. Then 4% on every new order that customer places with Nature's Network, 5 generations down. As you can see, this marketing plan has an extremely strong residual aspect. So when their farmers grow their team from a few farmers to tens of farmers to hundreds of farmers to thousands of farmers, the opportunities are endless with the first goal of eat for free. In order to become part of our Nature's Network family, get back to the person that sent you this video and tell them you want to become a farmer. Now let's look at the most important aspect, the timing. It couldn't be more perfect. You see, in order to make money, I'm talking real money, real lifestyle changing money, you have to be able to find a trend and position yourself in front of it. With the demand of healthier food increasing across the country, and people actually caring about where their food comes from, you have here the greatest food for them. Remember, people are already spending their money on what they think is healthy food. All your job is to do is show them why they need to spend their money here and not at the grocery store. And let me tell you, it's very, very simple. They get to eat the healthiest food for them. They get to take part in respecting the animals and helping to regenerate the planet. And on top of it all, they can, by showing people how to do the same, eat for free. It really is just that simple. And you have the opportunity to get involved with this even before the official launch. This is like starting with Bill Gates in his garage when he's making his first computer, or being in the workshop with Alexander Graham Bell when he first invented the telephone. In life, you only have 1, maybe 2 if you're lucky, chances to completely change the trajectory of your life. What if this is the one for you? What if for whatever reason you missed it and you didn't want to order your pastured chicken, or your forest-raised pork chop, or your grass-fed and finished steak? We want to be able to make it as easy for you to join as possible. That's why the minimum order is only 1 product. When I started my first business out of high school, I was only making $40 a month at allowance. So I wanted to make sure that anyone, no matter their financial position, could join us and with some work be able to build their dreams here. I want to drive something home right now. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. Trust me, you will regret it. Right after this is done, go on to naturesnetwork.com and place your order right now. Here, let me walk you through it. This is the Nature's Network homepage. If you want to place an order, go to where it says shop. You can scroll through and do your grocery shopping from your phone or computer. Here, let's place an order. Let's get 1 chicken, add to cart. We're going to go to view cart. This is the checkout page. It's not going to look like this very long. Right now, we have in development a whole software where each farmer will have their own unique website to send potential prospects and to have their orders placed right then and there. This is to go along with a completely free back office so you can go and track your progress. We're also developing a new app so you can sign up a new farmer from wherever you are. The app might end up costing a few bucks a month, but if it does, all founding members, the people that joined before our official launch in January 2020, will have access to that app for free. Some of you might be wary of the prices, but cheap food is cheap food for a reason. This is the highest quality that you could get for you and your family. And all our prices are very comparable or even lower than other pasture-based operations out there. And remember, the end goal is to eat for free. So in the end, it'll end up costing nothing. Now back to this order. The shipping across all 48 states is a flat rate of $50. We are working on getting that lower, but because we need to keep your order cold, there's a lot that goes into the packaging. So I highly recommend ordering in bulk because it's $50 if you order 1 product or 100. Now the way that the shipping will work is that you have all week till the cutoff time on Saturday night at midnight to place your order. Your order will then ship on Tuesday and will arrive to you wherever you are by Friday. Make sure when signing new people up, they put your name and phone number in this box before ordering. If they forget, don't worry, we will make sure that you get credit for that sale. Remember, we want you to make money. Tonight, you will put in this box, pre-launch webinar. After you place your order, you will then go to the Join the Revolution tab. Scroll down to where it says Document Download. Download and read our policies and procedures. Print out both the distributor application and the W-9 form. And then send them to sales@naturesnetwork.com and you will officially be a Nature's Network farmer. I want to end this by showing you our vision for the future of Nature's Network. We aren't just going to stop at the beef, pork, and chicken. We're going to expand to grass-fed lamb, pastured duck, and duck eggs, and we want each and every one of you to be able to enjoy a pasture-raised Thanksgiving turkey each and every year. But we don't plan to stop there at just meat. We are actively working on adding in fruits and vegetables, all chemical-free. Notice how the industry says organic and not chemical-free? But that's a whole nother video. We plan on adding in raw, unfiltered honey, and if there's a way to do it legally, raw milk and raw dairy products. We want to become a market for all things health, as long as it conforms to our 3 principles of 1, respecting animals, 2, healing the planet, and eating the healthiest food and guaranteeing the absolute highest quality. We want to be able to promote eating as locally as possible. So as we grow, we want to be able to contract with at least 1 farm or own 1 farm within an hour of each big metropolitan area. That way, 1, we reduce shipping cost, and 2, that way you can come out to the farm and see a farm tour. That way you can see with your very own eyes how your food is being raised. You see, we have a complete commitment to transparency, unlike the other guys where it's illegal to fly a drone too close to a confinement pig operation. But as regulations for labels change and their meaning becomes less and less, the only true way to know where your food is coming from is to know your farmer. You know your doctor, you know your dentist, you know your dry cleaner, but do you know your farmer? And Farmer John doesn't count, but now you do. My name is Ryan Murphy, and I can guarantee the quality that you and your family deserve. And right now, I'm making a commitment to you to where we will always strive to find a way to bring the prices down and the commission up without sacrificing quality. This isn't going to be a company to where all we care about is the bottom line. Our independent distributors, our farmers, come second, only behind the animals that we care for. In return, what I'm asking you to do tonight is to be able to dream bigger. Dream about being on the cutting edge of something that will change the way animals are raised in our country. Dream about being able to take all the junk that we throw into the air and turning that into rich soil. Dream about being able to feed your family the most nutrient-dense food possible. Dream about being able to do all that, and dream about at the same time being able to drastically improve your bank account, your pocketbook, your lifestyle. Remember, it's okay to be an environmentalist and a capitalist. This is one of the very few places where ecology meets economy, where city meets rural, where coast meets heartland. We are on to something very special here, so dream bigger and take action. Remember what Steve Jobs said: the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. Let's go change the world. Thank you and have a great night, and welcome to Nature's Network.